Let's sync up. Recording. I hear you tapping. No, you're gonna give me goosebumps. No. Are you affected by ASMR? No. Damn it, Anton. Just saying, a lot of people are into it. And I just don't get it. Oh, the bluebird? Uh, we did. Ah, dude, that has to be on a hard drive somewhere. We're just messing around. All right, ready? Welcome to episode 133, and I probably just blew up my mic. Welcome to episode 133. This episode of 2C, we talk about TikTok's clock keeps ticking down, bats versus bats, and Anton is a chip off the old block. I'm Al Flores. So, I know you're kind of thrown off by that last headline. Uh, I, w- I was driving and I saw this guy, not struggling, but trying to figure out this e bike. And then as I got closer, I realized that's Anton's dad. Yeah, because he's wearing a helmet, so I couldn't really recognize him until I got closer. I'm like, holy crap, that's it's his dad. I'm like, why am I not surprised Anton's dad got an e-bike? Yeah, we all are. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm. They're e-fleet. Yeah. Just yeah. Uh, And I think that's what he was trying to figure out is the pedaling part because that's what he was struggling with. So all I've heard is the headlines where celebrities are getting hurt. I think it was Simon Cowell that freaking broke his back with an e-bike. Uh, yeah, I know that, but they made it sound worse than it was. But still, I think his bike can hit 60 miles an hour. So at that point, I'm like, that's just a weak motorcycle at that point. It's like he was, yeah, that's just a motorcycle at that point. It's or a Vespa. Yeah. Uh, yeah, but it just threw me off. I'm like, oh, something to talk to Anton about. All right, Anton. What have you been up to this since our last episode? That's kind of yeah, yeah. The meal, the meal kits. Yeah, the meal kits. Mhm. So it's okay. So so it's a sealed takeout. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Mm, but but that's the fun kind. I was about to say, I'm like, that's my go-to for Olive Garden and for Cheesecake Factory is chicken parm. Eh, okay. Mm. Did they, did they hipster it? And it could, you need MSG for Asian food. uh, no, that's what I noticed. I'm sorry, like there is eating legit ethnic food or whatever country it is. However, not every country has uses the healthy alternatives for making the food. And I think once you take, I mean, in Indian food, that's cool. It's some of it's vegetarian or vegan, fine. That's kind of good. But Mexican food, you need, I mean, carnitas. Everybody loves carnitas, but that's just cooked in lard and salt. That's all it is. Try to change that recipe. It's not gonna come out right. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, they probably aren't marinating it as long, or I mean, a lot of the pastore thing is the way it's cooked. So if they're just doing it on a stove, like a kind of a stir fry, yeah, you need that char, that slow cooking. That's yeah, it's an art. Has Julie's cravings changed since having the baby, or is she still kind of having the same similar cravings as when she was pregnant? Uh, you have blinders. It's like when you're drunk and you like you call like, hey, do you remember what you did? No, I think it's just normal. Meanwhile, your friends have other stories. You was fucked up. Yeah. Speaking. Uh-huh. Oh, I saw the post. I haven't seen the video though. Is it that freaking overstuffed one? Overstuffed quesadilla kind of thing? I don't know if it was that one or something. There's a one that they showed like a burrito too that was overstuffed. Yeah. think so. Mhm, mhm, mhm. It passed the eyeball test. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At any given street in the center of Santa Ana, yeah. Okay, yeah, seems right. That blue and yellow or, like, aqua and yellow logo, yeah. Okay. Well, is it yeah, 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 everything's kinda pre-cooked or it's cooking in large amounts, and they just chop it up and serve it. So is it because of the wait time, or was it because of the whole COVID procedures? Okay, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, it's 10 minutes doesn't sound like a long time. For a food truck, though, that is a long time. Yeah, okay. Ugh, I wanna go back to Mexico just so I can fill up on tacos for less than $3. Nothing like that moment me and brother were just, like, at this, like, little, like, taco stand, and we just kept, like, grabbing, like I think we probably ate, like, 8 tacos each, and they're like, "Oh, so what's the total?" And they're like, "Oh, 30 pesos." We were like, "For both?" "Yeah." "Well, can we get some to go?" At that time, it was probably $3. Yeah, I know, I was like, "Ah, let's go just for that." So dirty. I told you about that one hipster white guy at that one food truck, right? So it was for my brother's birthday? I think it was my brother's birthday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we went to I can't remember if it was my brother or his wife's birthday, but we went out to this kinda like hole in the wall bar to see a band play a reggae band. It had to be for my sister-in-law's birthday because it was a reggae band. Um, and afterwards, me and Martha left a little bit early because we were hungry. Yeah, because we left a little bit we left a little hungry. We left because we were a little bit hungry, and there's, like, this, like, taco stand. I'm like, "Oh, perfect spot. Let's get some tacos." And, there's this group of white guys ahead of us. There's a group of white guys ahead of us, and I was wanting to crack us up so bad because I could tell one of them was a frequent customer, and the other guy was new because he didn't know the menu. Like, he was doing the same thing I was. We're looking for like the menu, what was available, and the first guy orders, and the second guy's like, "Dude, they don't got lengua or cabeza. Ah, that's like the bomb stuff. That's like the legit stuff." And I'm like, "Oh my god." He's like, "I want the authentic stuff." As is like, "I want the authentic stuff," and I'm like, in my head, I'm all, "This all authentic." I'm Mexican, even I don't eat the tongue and the freaking brain. Like, I was cracking. I'm like, "Oh, freaking hipsters." Uh, anyway, so during the yesterday, for my last update here, uh, me and Martha finished watching Parks and Rec. So I was like, "Look, next month or in a couple weeks, season 3 of Cobra Kai comes out." And I told him like, "Have you seen The Karate Kid?" And she goes, "No, my brother was into it. I thought it was dumb at the like, 'cause she was little. She's like, I thought it was dumb. Never saw it." So all right, cool. So we streamed it. She got super into it, and I was like, she's like, "I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting to be into it, but I kind of." She had the same reaction she did when we watched Top Gun. She's kind of like, "It's all right. It's a little weird, but all right." So she watched it. She got into it, and then when I was like, "All right," so we saw the first movie. We can start watching the first season of Cobra Kai. And she's like, "Okay, so is it like the same kind of character structure? What is it?" I'm like, "Nope, it's not a reboot. It's a continuation of the story." And then I also gave her a heads up to like the other three movies are continuations. Like they pick up where the previous movie left off. Uh, so I told her, no, not yet. No, we really just watched the first one. Is it the Hillary Swank one, like the next Karate Kid or something like that? Yeah. Um, So we binged the entire first season of Cobra Kai yesterday in one sitting. She could not get enough of it. It is, and the funny thing is, she made better observations than I did in the season. Like when I first saw it, like I saw the whole, them mentoring each other's pupil, like the what's his name, my freaking Johnny was training pretty much uh Daniel's counterpart, like his younger Daniel. And then Daniel was training he's like the new Cobra Kai. He's training the kind of jerk, like rebel kind of kid or whatever. Um and then Martha made the observation. He's like, "Yeah, but the thing is, Daniel has a good heart. So he was given the kid that needed that moral guidance. Whereas Johnny has the toughness, the ready to take on the world attitude, and that's what what's his name? Miguel's missing. Like Miguel has the good heart. He just doesn't have the physical strength for it. Yeah. I was like, "Holy crap, I didn't see that the first time I saw that." uh so I'm excited. So I think the next 2 weeks we're probably gonna watch the other two Karate Kid movies. I don't know about the Hillary Swank one. Yeah, exactly. Um, and it's funny watching the last episode with her because she's like, she's watching the fight, she goes, "I don't want any of these guys to win." I'm like, "I know, right?" Like, you like and hate, yeah, you like and hate both characters, and you really don't want this fight to happen. Like, this is how good they balanced out the season. Is they you don't know who to root for. Everybody is flawed and everybody's good in like in their own way. Um, but I loved how excited she got when they showed the daughter uh busting out her moves. They're like, "Oh shit, it's gonna get ready. It's gonna get real in season 2." And then they show pretty much Johnny getting encountering what's his name? I freaking forgot his old sensei's name. But yeah, so like the old sensei show up and she goes, Kreese, there you go. I was like something with a K. Kreese show up, and she goes, "I thought he was dead." I'm all, everybody thought he was dead. They specifically in one of the episodes said, "Oh, Kreese is dead." Like, and, when he was, trying to fight the Cobra Kai ban, yeah, so she's like, "Oh, crap, he's back." I'm like, "Yup." And then they cut to Daniel showing the old Mr. Miyagi dojo, and he goes, "We're gonna need a lot more students if we're gonna take on Cobra Kai." She goes, "Holy crap!" I'm like, "Yup, all the pieces are falling into place now." I I I haven't I haven't seen season 2 yet, 'cause no, because I didn't resubscribe to you did, a Swanton that happened to have an email address that was not used for a free trial yet, and for season 2. I didn't. I didn't resubscribe to YouTube Premium, which was formerly YouTube Red. The fam? Is it Anton 1, Anton 2, Anton 3. Um, yeah, wait, is it family with PH or with an F? Oh, okay. Um, yeah, so I haven't seen season 2, so I think to be safe, we're gonna watch the first 2 movies, or the second and third movie before we start season 2 and 3 sometime. Oh, yeah, I bet. I mean, you gotta remember the first season was crowdfunded, and had no idea of the popularity it was gonna get. So, that's what I'm excited about too. And also, I think just the fact that she got to see the movie and the season back to back just made her appreciate more of, like, how much detail they went into for the series. Yes. Yeah. Um, yeah, I can't wait for her to see the way they it's just one it's pretty much just one long ass year for the 3 movies, the way everything plays out. Alright. Alright, Anton, ready to start our show here? It has! Alright, let's start with news here. Alright, so TikTok. We talked about before that TikTok was getting a ban by the United States because it is China-based, technically Hong Kong. So one of the ways that TikTok is gonna try to get around it is to have, pretty much an American company take ownership of the servers for American citizens. So that way, any data goes through that company and then doesn't get to China. We filter out the stuff that China gets. Uh, ideally, or not ideally, uh, one of the main ones, but it was gonna be Microsoft. Microsoft was one of the first ones out the gate saying, "We can buy them." If that's the plan going forward, that if you guys need an American company, we are more than willing to buy TikTok. ByteDance, who apparently is the owner of TikTok, rejected Microsoft's bid. So that leaves Oracle as the last remaining bidder. So it is guaranteed that Oracle is going to own the American servers for TikTok to keep it in the country. If not, TikTok goes ta ta. I don't know. Uh, this month, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know if there's been any interruptions in service or if they got an extension or something, but um, yeah, it's mm, it is, and I think that's what scares me about TikTok is that even though like all the other apps it's starting over, There seems to be a lot more kids on there posting public videos, and I think that's a kinda like, "Ooh, if they're not on top of this can go bad." That's a lot of liability. Um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, it's it's funny seeing the reaction from people as TikToks, like, gets banned or whatever. People TikTokers or whatever like, "This is a legitimate business, and you guys are taking our livelihood away." But I'm like, "You didn't have that last year, or maybe 2 years ago, you didn't have that money a revenue stream. And if you did build up a following during this time on TikTok, you should be able to convert that to another platform." No, but you have followers, and if you have followers, you can monetize that. Yeah. Also, I just realized right now that I'm in a dark room with one light hitting me, wearing a black shirt. It looks like I'm just a hovering head. Just realized that right now. Uh, you can get it lit. Alright. Damn, I can't turn on the monitor. Um, yeah, so we'll see how this turns out for TikTok. I think Oracle's probably the future owner. If not, there's a lot of other companies willing to try to take that TikTok niche. Niche? Yeah, just kind of fill that hole that power vacuum that when it leaves. All right, Anton. Next story here. Amazon drones. This is something we've been hearing about for years that Amazon want to do this. And I think with the pandemic going on and the interruption to their distribution has really kind of revitalized this project that they wanted to do. Because wasn't it like 2 years ago that we were supposed to get the drones? Like certain areas were supposed to get the drones already. Yeah, but then people were like, "Oh, it's gonna get shot down," or if I see one, I'm gonna shoot one. I'm like, calm the fuck down. Like you can't do that. Just 'cause it's flying like, just because it's flying there does not give you a right to shoot it. That's the same. Yeah, that's the same. "It's a car driving by my house, I can shoot the car." I mean, no, you can't. Still somebody else's property. Um, yeah, so big break on this one. The FAA has given approval to Amazon for use of these drones. So that is a big, win for Amazon because, I mean, they're not gonna just give that licensing away. They have to show that they have controls in place, that they're, what their plan is, to not interrupt other flight paths and other, pretty much FAA uh, controlled things. So I think now it's only a matter of time before Amazon deploys their plan for use of these, and we start seeing it in LA, probably New York, probably is the most likely. I can't imagine how much time it takes to deliver things to buildings and New York traffic. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. Wasn't it Domino's or somebody that was delivering pizzas on the college campus or something like that? I know it was probably a publicity stunt, but I think it did happen though. Oh yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I think it was Chipotle. Yeah, and I don't know what the rule is, but I think because it's university owned property, they kind of had more leeway to work with the university to do that. Because again, I mean, especially let's say it depends on the time of the year too. Because I think if like they start doing it in late winter, early spring, then when kids are applying for universities, they're like, "I want to go to that university." The university sees it as advertisement for their campus also. Yeah. Unexpectedly too. Yeah, I always thought that was kind of a exaggeration until I did start visiting you and notice how quickly those clouds come out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like gloomy, heavy clouds. Yeah, no. All right, it's on. So I think it was last episode or 2 episodes ago, we talked about Xbox having a rumor that there was a Series S in development. Yeah. And over the 2 weeks, we had little more leaks that happened. I think some of the accessories they can start ordering for the Xbox Series X um, started coming out, saying like, and on the compatibility, like fine print, they mentioned the Series S display box. Mhm. Yeah, Series. Yeah. So that was one of the leaks. There's also a leak in Europe for one of the Amazon markets, where it was in the description. Uh, and Xbox has confirmed that there is gonna be a Series S. They showed pictures of it. I'm not too fond of the design. It kind of looks like an old school intercom system. I'm waiting for somebody to put like attach it next to a door and then make a video of them trying to talk to somebody outside or something. Uh, it's very way smaller than the main one, the Series X. Um, and it's white with a black circle. That kind of throws me off. That's a weird design idea. And yeah, and it's the more I hear about it, the more complicated it gets, and I'm like, I'd rather just get the Series X. So the hardware itself, very small differences, but still, I think there was a processor that was 3 times bigger for the Series X. Um, and I probably should have saved that screenshot. Uh, and I think if you look it up on IGN had that comparison. Um, and now before we start recording, I saw that the game compatibility is a little bit complicated too. So the Xbox Series S will not be able to play Xbox One enhanced games and Xbox 360 enhanced games. It's pretty much just very straightforward console going forward. And I think it doesn't even have 4K. It has upscaled 4K. And so, I mean, price difference here is rumored 299 to 499. For 299 for the Series S and 499 for the Series X. Exactly, it's not worth it. Hmm. Hmm. There you go. So I have the specs. So they're both going to be 120 FPS. Uh, the Series X is going to be the 8K, up to 8K, I should say. And the Series S is going to be 1440p with 4K upscaling. Like you said, no disk drive for the Series S. The Series X will have a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. Solid state drive. You're going to get 1 TB with the Series X, and half of that with the Series S. It's just it's not worth it. And one of our friends, Eric Palmer from high school, he messaged me when I posted that. He said, it's dumb. Remember says it's a dumb thing. Nobody's gonna want to pay for that. And I said, I don't think they're targeting gamers with the Series S. I think they're targeting parents that just see that $500 price point and say it's too high. Meanwhile, if you offer them an Xbox for, $300, almost half the price, that can play the new games, the parents are gonna be like, "Why you can complain, kid?" Mhm. Yeah, there you go, that's what I was saying. Yeah. It's just yeah, but at that point, not yeah, but at that point, you coulda just bought the Series X for that price point. So we'll see. I mean, I have not heard much about PlayStation during all this time. I think PlayStation's kind of sitting back. They do have their showcase and announced or date announced for the 16th. So this Wednesday. I think our episode might be up before then, but if not, then uh, you'll get the updates. So I'm kind of curious to see what PlayStation is holding back. Definitely the price point. We haven't heard the price point from PlayStation yet, right? The confirmed price point. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I did miss here is the release date for the Xbox is going to be November 10th. They are definitely trying to get ahead of PlayStation with the release date. So PlayStation is they're going to have a late October or they're going to match Xbox with that release date. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And they kept one up on each other. And it's such a bad thing to do for companies that late in the game because now you're just and ugh, too many problems could come up in manufacturing and marketing that could cause confusion and just no avoid that. I appreciate that PlayStation is kind of easing back because that kind of keeps both of them. Yeah, the confirmed price. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's see. All right, then. So keeping it with gaming, Scott Pilgrim, which last episode we talked about them teasing a game come from Ubisoft, I think, right? Uh, did you see the gameplay or what the game is? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can play Scott, Ramona, Knives, and the band, or what? Oh, nice. I was about to say, yeah, I would say that's the game that came to mind was Simpsons and also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Both of those games were available at our local Pizza Hut. The spike, whatever, the steep roof. Uh, yeah, it it's just It's just funny when it well, not funny, kinda sad too, but, uh, I like spotting those old buildings when they get converted to, like, they either close or go out of business, but the new owners that buy that location don't wanna spend the money to renovate. So you see, like, these old, Wiener Schnitzels or old Taco Bells or old Pizza Huts that are like, you clearly know what they were, but all they did was repaint and slap a new logo on it. Mhm. Ethnic cuisine. And there's another one on Westminster and, what's the other street? Newland, I think? That used to be the old Taco Bell, like the brick Taco Bells, and that is now, I think, a Korean restaurant or fast food place. Um, yeah, it's just funny. I'm like, "Yeah, that was clearly Taco Bell." Alright, actually, I forgot to ask you, Scott Pilgrim, what is it just available on mobile or what's available on? So you need some sort of yeah. All right. Moving on to our next story here. The Batman. We heard that they started production up for the Batman. I think they got motivated hearing all that positive response they got from the teaser trailer that they did at DC Fandom. However, a couple of days, or I think just over a week after they announced that production has started up again, I saw a headline that said a cast member or one of the crew on the Batman tested positive for COVID. I was thinking, okay, why would they stop production for that? That's stupid. Like if it's somebody that that tested positive, take them out of their bubble or whatever they're doing to quarantine the staff, the cast, and then wait a couple days and retest everybody. If everybody's good, continue. Turns out it was freaking the Batman himself that tested positive. Uh, Also kind of ironic. That Batman became Batman because of his fear of bats. So, and he struck fear, and now COVID that came from bats took out the Batman. Bats, yes, that is confirmed that it did mutate from a type of a virus that bats had. Whether or not it was designed is not confirmed. So yeah, so Robert Pattinson, he's out of commission for a couple days. Uh, I think by this point he should be fine. I think that news broke like the week after we finished recording last episode. So by this point he should be he's recovering. I haven't heard any negative news. So in entertainment, no news is good news. That was such a shrug. Uh, Actually, really quick, I almost forgot. Um, so last episode we talked about the death of Chadwick Boseman. Marvel has released a plan for how they would continue going forward with Black Panther 2. And they kind of they announced the story. Um just to kind of put minds at ease. Um and it's kind of what we already expected. So right now the story is going to take place um T'Challa is going to die off screen. We don't that how he died will be unknown. But yeah, Shuri will be taking the Black Panther mantle because I mean, fan wise, everybody loves Shuri. Uh, Story wise, it makes sense. I mean, she is royalty. The Black Panther mantle stays within the royal family as a protector. Um, so I think kind of lined up with everybody's guess of what was going to happen in Black Panther 2. It's cool, but I they need to handle it so yeah, they need to handle it so carefully, like, they need to do it in a way where his death, T'Challa's death kind of, is worthy of him, but also not to the point where fans are kinda like, Damn it, I wish we could have seen that fight, or damn, I wish we could have seen that what happened. Or maybe they'll do it with CGI. Who knows? They'll do like a flashback in CGI. All right, that's on. Ready to move on to streaming? Emotions. All right. Speaking of emotions, Bel-Air, the more down to earth feels version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, did get picked up, and people are not happy by who picked up the Bel-Air. Peacock, NBC's streaming service, has picked it up for and ordered 2 seasons of it. So without a pilot or without it's literally just a spec trailer that they used. Um, yeah, it's kind of unheard of. Usually they do like 3 or 5 episode run, and then even before it's released, the executives will view those episodes and make the decision then. But yeah, it's I'm not happy that Peacock has it, but at the same time, they need it. Peacock doesn't have any hard hitting exclusive shows. It's all kind of let's say retro feels like it's all like they have the original Fresh Prince of Bel Air, so that makes sense. They have Friends. They have these older shows that people love. I think they're getting The Office too soon. If not, they already have it, but they don't have any. Yeah, but they don't have any original content that they're making now. So I think this is a good grab for them. It fits in with their current lineup. Also, Peacock is their subscription service is both free and you get more shows if you pay the monthly price. So what I want Hulu used to do that. I don't think they do that anymore. Um, but what some of these subscription services, what I want them to start doing is, I want them to offer the first 3 episodes free, and then try to get people to sign up. It's kind of I don't even like giving a show a chance when it's on a streaming service I don't have, and I can't watch it. I don't know if it's worth me spending the money to subscribe. So with this type of business structure they have for the streaming service, they have the opportunity. Like if they already have people going on that platform for free content, they can give them an episode for free. Kind of like what iTunes does when they're with like the free TV shows or whatever. Um, they can do that, and then if people think they like it, they can subscribe. Yes. Hmm. They don't want another streaming service. Yeah, I will say talking to my friends and coworkers about this show that get mixed reviews. People are like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want a more down to earth." Or like gritty, blah blah blah. That kind of reaction. So I think this will give people a chance to see if they like it or not. All right, Ton. Next story here: Walking Dead, the show that keeps on walking and refuses to die, is finally going to die. Kind of. So they did confirm that season 11 is going to be its last season. So it'll be ending in 2023, which sounds so far away, but it's not. Um, but Norman Reedus and I forgot the other actress's name are going to get a spin-off show. Yeah, so I think it's very appropriate that the show that's talking about zombies died, but then comes back in a weaker way. uh, Fan favorites. Yeah, 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 people really don't touch them. I think I read somewhere that his character wasn't supposed to be that around that long to begin with, and then people just got hooked on him. Yeah. Oh, I liked the show when it was following the comic book, and that is such a geeky thing to say, but it's true. And then once it started departing from that, I was like, all right, that's good, less predictable. And then I saw what they were doing, and they were just kind of yeah. That's the thing. The comic book killed off characters regardless of what people felt about it or how they were built up in the graphic novel. But in the show, a lot of the stuff that dictates it is do fans like the character? If so, how much they like the character. If they like the character too much, they're going to keep him. If they like him, but they're kind of on the fence about him, they're going to try to kill him off before people start hating them. And I think that's what kind of it's kind of it's American Idol. uh, yeah. So I haven't seen Walking Dead since season 4. I want to say. I think the prison, right when they got to right when they were leaving the prison, I should say. I don't remember. The camera got stuck by a train. All right. And then wrapping up streaming here. I speaking of Peacock. uh, actually no, this is Hulu. I started to rewatch Seinfeld. It's one of those shows that I saw bits and pieces growing up, but never actually watched the whole show through. And it's a very iconic show, so I'm like, I'm gonna binge the crap out of this show. I quickly realized these characters are terrible. They are a-hole people that are so toxic to the people around them. And I was probably season 2, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this series. And then I realized something that made me get through it. This is the prototype to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Four friends that are close friends. They've known each other a long time, but they are a-holes to each other and toxic to the people around them. I mean, there's an episode where Jerry and Elaine break up a marriage because they both wanted to date the other people. I mean, they've gotten people fired. They've ruined businesses for like the most minuscule thing, and I'm like, why would anybody like these characters? And then once I made that connection to Always Sunny, but then once I yeah, and I also think too, not 80s and 90s sitcom people didn't really think about consequence. It was just more situation. It was funny. But now our time, we kind of grow a connection to certain characters, so we see them, we humanize them, so that we give them more background. So watching it with like modern context, I was like, God damn, like I really want to hate these people. And yeah, it's comical. It's comical. Yeah. 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 And there's one episode that literally started with Jerry uh getting broken up with he's sitting at the diner, and the girl that he's with says, "You know what? I think We need to end this." And he goes, "Okay, gotta go. I'm gonna leave now." And she goes, "What, you're not upset?" "No, I'm good. I agree with you." She goes, "Well, you're not even gonna try?" He goes, "No, I'm good. Things always just seem to work out for me." Walks out. I'm like, that is such a dick move and such a cocky thing to do. And I don't know. And it's funny because some of the jokes even line up with Always Sunny. You know how Mac always has that kind of like questioning if he's gay or not or whatever. Well, it was more subtle in the early seasons, and then in the later, I think after season 10, it became more blatant. Like they made a lot of gay jokes. Uh, and in Seinfeld, in the first half of the series, there's this running joke that what's his name? Jason Alexander's character, George, that he's gay. And even sometimes he questions it too. So I'm like, so he's Mac, obviously Elaine is D, and then I saw Kramer and Newman. I'm like, holy crap, that's Charlie and Frank. Like the two weird characters that always hang out together and go off on weird adventures or weird like business or projects they do with each other. I was like, oh my god, they carried over. I probably I just saw that connection. And I didn't remember the last episode of the series until and then when I watched it, I'm like, all right, I feel satisfied. Like that last episode makes up for the entire series. And if Always Sunny gets, I think they're still on the fence if they're going to do another season or not, because they're all something to close out their series, yeah. Because all the actors now are busy with other stuff. I think that what the one of them's doing AP Bio, another one's doing that Apple Plus TV series that's pretty much World of Warcraft. Charlie's doing movies and writing for TV shows, and I think the girl who plays D, she's doing TV shows too. So yeah, they're all doing their own projects. So I think if Always Sunny gets a movie or gets a final season, I would love it if it ends the same way Seinfeld did. That would just close out my theory that Seinfeld is the proto Always Sunny. All right. All right, Anton, ready to get into the return of our movie section, right? All right, let's into movies, Anton. So we've been seeing a lot of screenshots or screen grabs of Dune. And I think was it last week? Earlier this week, we got the full trailer or a nice trailer for Dune. Have you had a chance to watch it? Mhm. Also, when I hear spice, I always think it's because Star Wars does it too. I just think drugs, just drugs. Spice is like the PR word for drugs. Mhm, mhm, mhm. It's fantasy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the San Francisco nowadays, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista. Yeah, the more they go through, the more I saw these like this movie, I was not like, oh, this person's in it. Oh, this person. Wait, how big is this cast? Um, Also another thing too, the head. I think like the second trending thing after Dune when the trailer came out was Oscar Isaac's beard. Everybody was digging like I saw so many memes about like Oscar Isaac. Like Oscar Isaac's beard is goals. It's like so people saying like I would watch this movie just to see as Oscar Isaac's beard. Got him. It's a nice thick beard. I gotta admit. Yeah. So so you just reminded me. I totally forgot about this. Yeah, because when you said talking about old sci-fi. Uh, what's his name? Uh, oh my god, I forgot his name. Philip. I think Philip K. Dick. No, hold on. So I learned that Apple TV has greenlit. Oh, Isaac Asimov. Duh. Greenlit a TV show based on the Isaac Asimov series Foundation, and this is one. I'll put the book is dense as hell. Like it is a struggle to get through it because it is just so deep. It's Oscar Isaac, sorry, Isaac Asimov is so detailed for like little thing like to it is torturous how detailed he is in some things. Like holy crap! I've just read 20 pages and it's literally just these people in a damn conference room talking to each other. Um, because he likes to set a mood. He likes to, and I think that's the slow burn is what makes his novels great, but also makes them feel like forever. I don't know how I feel about the Foundation series. I I just feel this is going to be no. And the thing is that because it's a TV series, they might be able to stretch out the books. Because I think there's 3 books. Um, they might be able to stretch it out and maybe not necessarily cover the first book in the first season, but I don't know. It's very heavy sci-fi, and I'm kind of curious how they handle this one. All right, sorry for that little tangent, but you reminded me when you're talking about Dune. All right, next one. So we both got to watch the long anticipated Mulan. I don't know why I say it that way. I wasn't trying to be racist, just trying to be dramatic. It was originally supposed to come out March of this year, but because of COVID, movie theater closing and all that stuff like that, it got postponed and finally got released Labor Day weekend on Disney Plus for the nice price of $30. Sounds like a lot, but still cheaper than a movie date. Oh, whatever. All right, so yeah, it's still cheap. Well, even for one ticket, because I want to go matinee, so it'd still be like $20. Um, anyways, yeah, the caramel popcorn. Um, I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first on this one because if I go first, I'm gonna go on a rant. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. Uh, hmm. I haven't either. Live actions. I haven't seen the Metacritic score or the other one. I forgot what it was. The Rotten Tomato score. I don't like to do it until we're either recording or after we've given our reviews. Um, just so I'm not swayed. But I, I'll start my review by saying this did not feel like a Disney movie, and I'll get past the whole thing about like, oh, this they changed the story, which I'm like, okay, they've been doing that for the other Disney live action remakes. They've changed they tweaked the story a little bit, so it's not the same. For the Mulan one, they just took one of the other Mulan legends and went with that instead. Other versions of the legend. And thanks to what was the other podcast I listened to? I think I listened to. So I luckily I listened to a podcast. What I think is called Myths and Legends. Yeah, Myths and Legends, where before the movie came out, they did another covering of the Mulan legend, and that is I was able to recognize it because of that podcast. They still tweaked it. They still changed the story, the ending. But even with the story different, there was no there's nothing for kids in this. There was no cute character. There was no little, there was even though, yeah, okay, no Mushu, I get that. No cricket, all right. But they didn't substitute or bring in any other characters. Maybe the Phoenix, which cool, but that's not for kids. That's just more for like the lore and visual. Um, it there was no singing, and when I noticed that there was no singing, I started realizing, wow, Mulan doesn't really talk much this movie. Her lines are very limited. And even when she does talk, she talks very short sentences, and I wonder if that is just a language barrier with the actress. No? So then I have no idea why Mulan is such a muted character in this. Because I know I know she is a famous Chinese actress, and that's why they picked her for this role because it's an iconic Chinese legend. It's fitting that they choose a Chinese actress to show respect to China. Fine. Yeah, yeah, some sort of recording. Mhm, mhm. Was was that her? I knew Christina Aguilera remade her version of Reflection and they did a new video. I heard the other voice, but I wasn't sure who that was. So that was her? And and they can't blame COVID. I was like, and they can't blame COVID because the movie was done before COVID started or COVID took over. So it's I don't know. Donnie Yen was I think underused in this one too. The commander. I was a bit confused with the fellow soldiers about who was supposed to be who. Um, which all right, fine. If they didn't want to do a 1-to-1, that's fine. But I didn't feel any chemistry between her and the love interest. I there was no chemistry there. There was nothing. I don't know. It this feels very short. Best way I can put it. It's yeah. Uh, I'll put it the cartoon seemed to have had less cartoony action than the live action did, and that's something like right away I kind of had like the whole negative thoughts in my head at the first 10 minutes of the movie where it's little Mulan chasing a chicken and just those the I guess the cable stunts it felt too fake. And I'm like, I get it. It's a Disney movie. I get it. Like, but it didn't feel right the way she climbed walls. All right, no, like it's no, I don't know. It's a lot of misses with this movie, and it's such a disappointment because it was one of my favorite Disney cartoons or animated movies. Um, and I this is a big short because Mulan was one of the first Disney quote unquote princesses that was a positive female figure. So I mean that uh, they could have done this better. They could have done this way better. And I even saw me I or the humor. I I I can't recall a joke in this damn movie. The only jokes I remember were the comments that I was making. Like okay, so me and Martha watched this with her brother and sister-in-law. So Friday when the movie came out, the adults watched it. It's Friday night. And then the kids would get to watch it Saturday morning. The I swear to you, the room was dead quiet. The only other voice was Martha's brother calling out saying, "Wait, where's Mushu?" or "Wait, why'd they change this?" or what to the point where his wife pretty much said, "We get it. It's not the same movie. You can stop making this." But like the only other laughs I can think of like when I was making my smart ass comments, which are usually to annoy people, not to make them laugh. But I think doesn't make the movie tolerable. It's uh, I even saw a meme that like showed um a guy saying, "Did I watch Mulan? Yes, I did. Did I pause the movie at the appropriate time to play Let's Get Down to Business? Yes, I did." It's I don't know. I can't think of another Disney movie that didn't have music to some level. I don't know. Uh, and there, and to hurt the movie more, this is something I didn't even notice, but some people started boycotting it uh, over the weekend. Is because one of the hot topics for China in the last couple months, besides COVID, has been their treatment of the Uyghur people. For people who don't know what the Uyghurs are, they are Chinese people that are Muslim. They're kind of they're seen as outcast in China, and they even built quote unquote re-education camps or what are they called? Like that's pretty much like yeah to break away from their Muslim beliefs and teachings and traditions and make them more conform to what Chinese. Yeah, exactly. Um, and it turns out that at the end credits of the movie, they called out I forgot what it was. Let me see here what the exact wording is. But the group that's in charge of re-educating the Uyghur people was also part of the group that was called out as a thank you for helping with this movie. Let's see here. Hmm. Here we go. Mulan specifically thanks the publicity department of the CPC, uh, Shui, I can't say it, XINJIANG. Xing, that's probably the region, right? Shanxi Uyghur Autonomous Region Committee in the credits. So it's a group of the Chinese government for that area that's in charge of re-educating the Uyghur people in that area. And it's literally near the end of the credits, and like I'm like, oh, that's the dagger for this movie. And like, not only did it suck. If people that are hearing us talk about this movie don't get that, we it sucked. Now we have now it's fighting a political and social hot topic right now. I'm like, this Mulan is not going to go. The live action Mulan is not going to go down as a loved movie. I'm probably going to get some. It it's one thing when you try to cater to uh, a a community or culture differences. We've talked about it way before. I think during Avengers Endgame, we talked about that. You know, for Tony Stark when he's facing Ebony Maw, he calls him Squidward. But in the UK, which also similar demographic to the United States, they used a different reference, which was uh, what was his name? Freaking from Harry Potter. He shouldn't be named. Shall not be named. Voldemort. Yeah, he called him Voldemort. And it's like small little tweaks like that. Sorry, I still have workout brain. I'm still trying to get oxygen to my brain. Um, small little tweaks like that. That like okay, you get it. And China is a huge market that I get why Hollywood would want to cater to them. It's just why they're doing a Chinese movie with a famous Chinese celebrity and great casting for the rest of the at this point, yeah. But like I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying like a lot of the money talks on this one. Um, so I get it, but to the point where now they're thinking, I don't want to make this comparison, but I kind of have to. It's kind of like thanking the Nazis for for helping with the German movie. Also, also with that, I'm probably banned from China with that joke or that comparison. I'm probably banned from China. Mhm. Yes. Chi yes and no. So not about the necessarily the war, the territory expansion, but China does have a goal, very verbal goal, when the Communist Party took over, that within 100 years they would be the number one power in the world. Those 100 years are almost up. I think 2050 is 2050 2040 is the end of their goal. So and their population is aging. So if they're gonna make a move, they would make a move within the next couple of years. So yeah, China's not just making money moves; they're taking military moves too. Yeah, the smug. Yeah. Um, yeah. I would have thought that they would go for South Korea, but I think South Korea and Japan are very close to the U.S., so they can't really make a move without pissing off the U.S. Taiwan, while they have good business relations with the U.S., not much partnership there. So yeah, I can see that. All right, Anton. Mulan, 1 to 5. What are you gonna give it? Yeah. What's it's watchable, but I was gonna give it a 1.5, but you saying watch, I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2. All right, so let's see, IMDb. And go to Mulan. I want to see what the score. I want to see how we can. All right, okay, they didn't have the Rotten Tomatoes score on there, so I'm gonna Rotten Tomatoes Mulan. Ooh, that's interesting. Uh, 75% for Mulan for critics. Audience 50%. So I'm probably on the lower end, but right in there, middle of the road there. It's just not a Disney movie. All right, Anton. If people want to keep us above middle of the road, what's above highway? If they want to keep us on the highway, how can they do that? Just a little one. All right. People can also follow us on social media at the 2OC on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can send us an email to mail at the2oc.com. Let us know your thoughts on Mulan, what's going on with China. We can get political just a little bit. Keep it fun though. And don't forget to give us a 5 star on your favorite podcast listening app, especially if you are on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out a lot. A lot. A lot. Well, my first thought is Dune and Foundation. We talked about those, and with Dune coming out soon and Foundation coming out next year, I think those are good grabs for people. Let me see here. I just pulled up Dune right now. Uh, Dune series, Dune, 21 hours. There you go. That's a bargain for your free download right there. 21 hours of an audiobook. Yeah, yeah. Make the most of it. If you have a free credit, use it on that. All right, Anton. There you go. All right, Anton. Anything else? Did we miss anything? All right. For the 2OC, I'm Mal Flores. See ya.